Hi guys, welcome to another Divi theme video. This is Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Well, this is a follow on from our yesterday's video. We're going to create this nice little horizontal menu up here with the little icons up there. When we flip it to mobile, it's going to stack on the right hand side. If I hit my F12 key, as you can see on mobile, it's going to stack on the right side like that. Nice little feature to have on your site. So let's get started. I'm going to start a new page. I'm going to call mine V menu. As we're actually creating our own little navbar type menu up here, I'm going to use a page with no heading and footer. To do that, once you start your page, in summary up here, it may be closed up. Just open it up. Go down to template. I'm going to use blank page here. By default, it's set on default template, funnily enough, which will give you a header and footer. If you use blank page, it'll take those away. Once you're happy, hit use the Divi builder. I'm going to build from scratch today. I'm going to hit a new row. I'm going to use a single column in my row. And I'm going to throw a blurb module in there. And before we go any further, I'm going to put some background in this little section here and make it full width, full height. To do that, go into your section. Background's always under content there. I'm going to put that same image we had in yesterday. There's that one. I want to make this thing full height so we've got something to work with here. To do that, let's go into our design, still in the section here, going to go down to sizing. I'm going to give it a height of 100 VH for 100 viewable height. And that'll be 100% of the screen. Let's just make that image parallax so it stays where it is, or fixed background. Again, back to background, image. Click on the image, use parallax effect. I'm going to use CSS parallax, which is fixed background. So even if we scroll, it'll stay in exactly the same position. Great. And you may notice we've got no header or footer. Fantastic. Well, if you watched yesterday's video, you can skip forward because we're going to build this exactly the same way with these little blog modules. So I'm going to go into my blog module. I'm not going to use a title. I'm going to say home. I move this over here. You can see that says that there. I want to use an icon for mine because this is an icon menu. So I'm going to hit the use icon. And I'm going to use a home icon. Obviously, choose what works for you. Okay, we got our little home there. We got the little icon. Like I say, it's exactly the same as we did yesterday. I'm going to give it a background color. Again, background's always under content. I'm going to use that dark gray color that we've been using. In fact, let's not. Let's actually use the color of this crazy spaceship behind there. So I've got a little free color picker here. Let's go for perhaps this color right here. I'm going to put it in a gray, but I'm going to click on the field. I'm going to paste that hex code that I just copied in there. Slightly a blue or dark gray, but that'll work nicely with that background there. Great. So we got a background color in there. I'm going to leave that icon the color it is, but of course I want that text in the middle. So I'm going to hit the little paintbrush. I'll take you straight to the body text design there. I'm going to pop it in the middle. I want to capitalize it. I want to take it down a little bit in size. 12 pixels, I think that's going to work for me. Great. Well, let's go into the little icon there. Again, I'm going to hit the paintbrush. It'll take you straight to the icon stars. I want that to change color when we hover over it. So common to all Divi modules, if you roll over the dark writing, you'll see some little icons appear. In the icon color, I'm going to hit the little arrow, and we can have two different colors, one for desktop when the mouse is not on it, and one for hover, obviously, when the mouse is on it. So I'm going to click on the hover tab there. I'm going to change it to orange when we hover over it. Let's flip it back to desktop. Okay. Fine on the top, but it's way too big. I think I used 25 pixels for mine yesterday. Just put in the 25, it'll put in the pics. That's okay. Obviously adjust yours again to what works for you. But I want this writing to be a lot closer to our icon. And the only way that I found to do this easily is to go over to advanced here, go to custom CSS. Don't let this panic you. It's really easy. And I'll put any code I write down below. It's one simple line. I'm going to hit the module elements tab. I'm going to go down to the blurb image, which is actually our icon in this case. I'm going to say margin, margin, dash bottom, colon. I'm going to give it negative 25 pixels. As you can see, that's drawn that text a little bit closer there. That works for me. Let's put a little semicolon on the end. Fantastic. If you want to get it a bit closer than that, we can actually go into our text itself. Again, I'm hitting that little paintbrush there. If we roll down, we've got line height, body line height. If we start dragging it down, you'll see it get a little bit closer there. Get it to where it works for you. I think that's going to work for me. Great. Well, of course, this is way too wide and we need a little bit of space, top and bottom, working room. So if we roll down a bit, we've got spacing. And I'm just going to give it a bit of padding on top and bottom. I think I used 5 pixels before. Obviously, again, put in whatever works for you. That's great. Well, as we're going to be using this as a menu, I'm going to put a little bottom border on there. I'm going to have it change color also when we hover over. So still in our design settings. I'm going to close that up. And we'll go down to border. I don't want to put a border all around. I just want to put one on the bottom. So we've got top, right, bottom, which we'll use, and left there. So I'm going to go on the bottom. I'm going to make it 1 pixel. I'm going to make it that light grey we used yesterday, which is 3 shades up here, 47, 47. You can see it slightly on there. But when we hover over it, again, exactly the same as we did to the icon there, hover over the border color, get up the little arrow, desktop's fine. When we hover over it, I want it to be that same orange color. Fantastic. Well, that's shaping up, but it's obviously way too wide. So let's close up our border here. I'm going to go into sizing just above spacing there. And you need to make this as wide as your longest text word there, or your longest link word there. And mine, I think, was 80 pixels. So in the width, just here, I'm going to write 80 px. And you need to put the px in this case, because if you don't, it'll put a percentage value in there. If it puts a percentage in there, just select the percentage sign and put px in. And there we have it. That's about the size that I want there. Fantastic. Well, now we've got that, we need to duplicate it for as many links as you want. Couldn't be easier. Let's save this. There is a little duplicate button just under there, which is the 2 little squares, as you can see in the row here, the green tab. Now, mine's being a little obscured there. If you have that problem, just go down to your purple button. Overall, on the left-hand side here, we've got a little icon that says wireframe view. Click on it. It takes you to the back end. And it's not a bad idea if you name this for your links, because we're going to have several of them. It makes it easier to see on the back end here which is which. You can do that down in admin label. If I just move this across, by default it just calls it a blurb. Let's call it home. So we're going to know which one's which here. And once you're in here, you can go back and duplicate by hitting the 2 little squares. I'm not quite sure how many I needed, but something like that. Now we can go back to our desktop view, or whichever view you like to work with. But of course, that's no good. We don't want all the gaps between them like that. They need to be stacked on top of each other. Really easy. If we go into our row now, I go over to design, sizing, use custom gutter width. I'm going to flip that little switch from no to yes. I'm going to take the gutters away. These are called gutters, the space beside and below each module here. I take it all the way down to the left. They're touching each other. And you can see that little line on the bottom that we gave them. Great. Well, this is shaping up. Now we need to go into each one. Obviously change the link and the name. I don't think I put a link in that top one. So go into it. Change what it is. Find a new little icon for it. And obviously we want to put a different link just down below the icons of the link. And you want to put it in the module link, not the title, because we're not using titles on this one. That way, anywhere they click within this little square here will take them to wherever the link is you put in here. And obviously you can take them to any page or any section that you want. Okay. Pause that and move on to the next one. I'll pause this video. I'm going to do exactly the same for these down here. Well, I've just finished the last one now. I've just changed the icon and the text and the link, obviously. Great, well that's shaping up now. But if I hover over, you can see that this row is way too wide here. We don't want that interfering with anything. So let's give it that same background color as we used before. So we'll go into the row, down to background. Give it any color you want. Click on it. I've still got that color saved in my clipboard. Flip it to that. Now we want to make this row, flip these horizontal. At the moment they're vertical, which is fine, and we built that menu with them yesterday. To do that, once we get into the row settings here, just go into your row and content, we want to go into the column. And again, I've got to write a little bit of code here, and I'll put the code down at the bottom. Just take this down a bit so you can see exactly what's going on. I'm going to go over to the advanced custom CSS. Remember, we're in the column, not the row itself. I want to go to the module elements. In the main element, I'm going to write display, D-I-S-P-L-A-Y, colon, flex, F-L-E-X, semicolon. As you can see, that's shot them into the horizontal position, just like that. But I also want to justify the content in the center of our row. So I'm going to say justify, dash content, colon, center. And that's got it right in the middle of our little dark bar there, which is fantastic. I now really want to shrink this row down to the size that we want it. I don't think we really want it much wider than this. And I'm guessing that's probably 650 or 700 pixels at the most. So we can save our column settings, and we'll come back to this in a minute when we flip it around to mobile version. So I'm going to save the changes. That'll take us back to the row settings. We'll go over to design. And like I say, I was guessing at about 700 pixels, maybe a little bit too much. I'm going to go to sizing. This time we'll go down to width here. I'm going to say 700. It's put in percent there. That's not going to work. So let's select that and put in pixels. Yeah, that's too much really. You can probably go 600. Yeah, that'll work for me. I'm going to take a bit of the padding off of top and bottom there. I think I'm going to take that little line away from these and just have it when they hover over it, perhaps. But while we're in the row, still in the design, I'm going to close up sizing. I'm going to go to spacing down below. Let's try 5 pixels top and bottom. Again, this is all up to you. Maybe not enough. About 10. Something like that. Hit the chain, it'll do the same on the bottom until it's about the size that you want it. That kind of works for me. And while we're here, I want to give it some rounded corners, and we'll do the same as we did yesterday. We'll give it a bit of a glow so it stands out on top of that background there. So let's go down to border. Firstly, I'll give it some rounded corners. I think I used 20 on the one that we had before. That's fine. Obviously, again, do what works for you. And we put a border all around last time, all 4 sides there. Let's put in a purple color. I'm going to make it 1 pixel. You'll see it stand out there. But again, let's use a color from this background image here. There's my little color picker. Let's use perhaps a purple. I'm going to copy that little hex code. I'm going to click on my color. I'm going to paste that hex code in there. That's that same color as that spaceship background there. I'm also going to give it a bit of a glow. We did it the same way yesterday by using a bit of box shadow down below. I'm going to use it all around. Again, I'm going to click on the color. I'm going to paste that hex code in there, still in my clipboard. It gives it that little glow around there. If it's too much for you, we can do what we did yesterday. Pull the opacity down. It'll let more of the background through. Make that purple glow slightly less pronounced. I think we took it about 75 last time. Again, of course, do what works for you. Great, there's our basic structure. So let's just save our row there. I'm fairly happy with that at the moment. But I want to get rid of that line. I just want to have the hover border appear when we hover over it. So let's go into any of these modules. Let's go into the services right here. And that was bottom border. We'll find that down in design always. Design and border. There's our bottom border. We already got it selected down there. For the desktop version, to take that away, I'll move out the way. It'll be on the services here. I'm going to switch it from the color we put in to a transparent. So it's disappeared. You can see it's disappeared on that service one. Now I don't have to go through and do that to all of them. All I can do is save this. I can right click on our services module there. I can say extend blurb styles. I can extend it to everything in this row by selecting this row and hit the extend. Boom, and it's all gone. Fantastic. Great, well that's shaping up nicely. That works perfectly on desktop for us. But I want it to be fixed position, so when they scroll up, I want it to stay in the same place. So if I actually duplicate this section down below, blue tab for the section, 2 little squares to duplicate. I'll get rid of this row down here. Just gives us a bit of scrolling room because we've got 200 viewable height to scroll with there. I want our menu to stay there at all times. So let's go back into our row and fix that how we want it. Into the row again, over to advanced, position. I'm going to change it from relative to fixed. As you see, it's top left at the moment. I want mine top center, and I want it a little bit down, perhaps over our image here. So I can use vertical offset. Let's try perhaps 100 pixels. Yeah, maybe a little bit more. Whatever works for you. That way that's going to stay there at all times when we slide up the site there. Now, I'm dragging it out, and as that new section is coming over it, it's making it disappear. That's not going to work. So what we can do, stop that new section. And the reason it doesn't look like anything's happening, I've got parallax on both, CSS parallax, it's the same image so it's not moving. But we don't want that to disappear. So to fix that, just under our vertical offset, we've got Z index. So let's make it disappear, or at least partially. Drag the Z index up until it pops on top. There we go. Fantastic. Now, you want to check any sections on your site if you've got it fixed position, that it's going to roll over the top of them there. Fantastic. Great. Well, let's save that. Let's take a little look at it on tablet. Still going to be in fixed position. They're all squashed up there. That's not going to work for me. Let's have a look on mobile. Yeah, and again, it's really too much for mobile, so that's why I'm probably going to flip it around the other way for mobile. So let's put it back on desktop. I'm going to go into the row. I'm going to go back into the column where we wrote that code before, over to the advanced, custom CSS, module elements, down to the main element here. I'm going to copy what we've got here because we're going to kind of modify it a little bit. Control C to copy. I'm going to hit the little mobile phone icon. Remember, if it's not there, just hover over the dark writing, go to the thing you want, main element in our case. Little mobile phone. We can flip it to tablet mode and put in a different bit of code. See, I'm going to put the same code in there, but instead of justify content center, I'm going to say space around. SPACE-around. And that spread them out within the available content there, which is perfect. That works a lot better for me. And let's just copy this and we'll flip it to mobile. Again, got a little mobile here once you've got that open. And yeah, it's just falling off the sides here. It's not going to work at all on mobile. So what I'm going to say is I'm going to paste that code back in there. You won't see any difference at all. I'm going to get rid of that second half. And the flex there, instead of display flex, I'm going to get it to display block. B-L-O-C-K, which should be put it back to how it was, which is stacked vertically like that. But of course that's way too wide. So we need to adjust the width of it on mobile, just on mobile. So let's save our column here. We'll go back into our main row settings. Going to go down to design and sizing. And then the width. Again, I'm going to get the little phone icon out. I'm going to go to mobile version. It's going to flip us to mobile. I'm going to give that a fixed width just on the mobile here. Well, I think we used 80 px for ours, so 80 px. Great. That's the size we want it. People can reach it and see everything there. But of course, I don't want it sitting in the middle. You can either put it on the right or the left, wherever you want to put yours. So again, still in the row settings, I'm going to go over to advanced, down to position this time. Now the location, we're going to hover over, get up our little phone icon. On mobile phone, I'm going to put mine on right hand side. You can put yours on the left hand side or wherever you want. But I think for me, that will work right there. Great, so let's save our changes. Let's save draft or publish if you're ready. And exit the visual builder. There's our little menu. When we hover over, it's going to change color and the little underline's going to appear. And let's have a look on tablet and mobile. If I hit my F12 key, there we are on the iPhone 12 there. And as I scroll up and down the site, can't see much happening. There's no content, but I am scrolling up and down there. Let's have a look on an iPad. And there we are on an iPad. So there you go, guys. This is how to create a nice little horizontal icon menu that when you flip to mobile, it's going to stack and go to one side. I hope you've enjoyed this today and found it useful. That code, remember, is down below for anybody that just wants to copy and paste it. Don't forget, if you have any questions, pop them below the video. I'll do my best to answer them for you, or make a little demo video like this one. Once again, this has been Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.